week's Parsha is Parshas Matas Maseh, and Parshas Maseh speaks about the journeys of the Yidden in the Midbar, the 42 journeys that they took. And obviously, those 42 journeys, as it explains in the Sfarim HaKadoshim, right, the Yidden had 42 stops to elevate the different sparks along the way. And it's brought down in Sfarim that business people, the journeys are the journeys of the business people. People go out on business, and many business people, they travel a lot. Some of them travel to and from work every day. Other people travel around the globe. And they're on the journeys. They're on the Maseh. They're on the journeys around the world. And just like the Yidden in the Midbar, those journeys were to elevate sparks. We know in Yiddishkeit, the business people, they're on a journey. Wherever they travel, they think they're there for a physical mission, but it's a spiritual mission to elevate the world around them. And it's a little secret. In Lubavitch, we talk about the shluchim. But the secret is that business people are actually the real shluchim, because they're the ones that go into the business world, and wherever they go, when they do it in the Kiddush Hashem, they elevate the business world. The other shluchim, they bring people to shul. The business people go to the business, and they elevate the business. So that's the goal, that's the mission. All of you have on the table, I printed this, you're welcome to keep these. It's a little booklet that says Sichos and Success. And if you open it up on the inside, there's a letter of the Rebbe. It says practical advice. I'm going to read it in English, okay? The Rebbe writes to somebody, we see frequently in many areas that if you do not enlarge them when it comes to business, or at least try to do so, they will continuously get smaller. For this reason, I advise you to work on expanding your business, although you shouldn't get too preoccupied in doing so. As far as you're concerned that you will be forced to minimize your set times in learning, I am sure that if you make a firm resolve, you will be able to expand your business without it affecting your times of study. So the bottom line is, that's tonight's event. Everyone that's in business knows you always have to be working to grow your business. That's the only way. If you get complacent, the competition comes and knocks you off. So tonight, you're here tonight because you want to grow your businesses and you want to hear amazing stories and you want to get amazing wisdom from the tremendous business people that came tonight to share. And that's the spirit of tonight's event. Before we start the actual program, again, tonight's the CHYE Founder Circle event. It's a night to celebrate CHYE as a nonprofit here in Crown Heights. We're only able to run this program thanks to generous people that are part of our Founder Circle that give $2,400 or more a year. And tonight is a night of gratitude for the members of the Founder Circle. And I'm going to do this a few times during the event, but for all the members of the Founder Circle, I want to give you a personal thank you. I want to say that this past year, CHY's impact on the community has been a $15 million impact. We've helped countless businesses to start, countless businesses to grow. I'm very proud. This year we launched a brand. One of our core programs is business mentorship, and this year we rebranded our mentorship program to be the Level 8 Business Mentorship Program. And when we launched it in January, Baruch Hashem, we've had over 100 mentor requests that came in since, and I'm very proud of the impact that our mentor program has had. I want to call up, we have here in the crowd, somebody who's been using our mentor program, and I wanted to call him up to just share a few words about the impact that our mentor program has had on his business. I would like to call Adam Goodfriend, who's running a business. His business is called A Good Friend, and it's a special business. You go to his website and you could order nutritious meals delivered to your home every single day that are balanced in nutrition, and he's gained tremendously through our program. Adam, please come up and share a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here tonight and have the opportunity to express my thanks in public for all of the incredible help that I've received from CHYE. I just want to share, just to put it in perspective very briefly. I saw recently that Cornell University said that an average person makes between 30 and 40,000 decisions in a day. Someone who's a surgeon is going to make around 60,000 decisions. And someone who's in the position of a manager makes around 100,000 decisions in a single day. Now, I'd like to take that a step further. Someone who's an entrepreneur, who's starting something new, doesn't have a business model, doesn't have someone on top of them to tell them what to do, it's an extraordinarily challenging, overwhelming at times experience. One other point besides the sheer magnitude of the number of decisions that a person has to make, I think also it's not just the number, but it's the emotional, the decision fatigue. It's everything that comes along with it. I reached out to Rabbi Werdy a little while ago, over a year. I don't even remember when, but and immediately I felt like, wow, this is an incredible place. This is an incredible resource that I can come to at any point and any time. And if he doesn't know the answer, he'll send me to the person that I need. And that person, for my long-term mentor, Yitzhak Gajzinski in Los Angeles, and it was an incredible experience. He helped me every step of the way, the rebrand, where to spend money, where not to spend money, when yes to spend money. It was an incredible resource, and there's no way that I would be here today with the company that I have now that's growing and expanding, and I owe so much gratitude to this organization. It's really been there for me, and I'm very grateful, and thank you for this opportunity.
Before you go down, if people, again, it's an amazing website. You could order meals for the whole week, balanced, nutritious diet, and you just put it in the oven. Where do they go? What's the website?
agoodfriend.co.
And it has all the good hechsherim that you're looking for. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Another program that we launched this year that I'm very proud of, aside from the Entrepreneur program, we have career counseling for people in our community that are trying to figure out what direction to take. We offer free career counseling thanks to a very generous donor who I'm hoping is in this room right now. And we have our career counselor, Zev. Are you here? Okay, yes, Zev is standing up over here. Zev meets anyone that's looking for a career counseling, meets with Zev. We use a free aptitude test called the Myers-Briggs Strong Interest Inventory, and we help people figure out where their strengths are and what would be the best job or business for them to choose. And I'd like to call up somebody who was impacted very much by this program this year, Mendy Bankhalter, to please share a few words.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Werdy and Zev, who actually did the coaching for myself. I can't speak for everyone, but I could say my takeaway from the experience and the coaching experience, a guy like me, or a lot of people share this, coming out of yeshiva, going into the dating world, and eventually getting married, you're looking around trying to find what's best for you. You're in a job, but you're not feeling fulfilled. You're looking for something a little bit more than what you're doing at the moment. And my biggest takeaway for sure is when I sat down with Zev, he really just sets up a path and prepares you. It's a wild interview process and world out there when you're going around interviewing with different companies. And when you just sit down and think about your strengths, your weaknesses, what you really want to do, they ask you very interesting questions. And it just really sets you up for success when you're going to meet with these companies and executives. It just really sets you up for success. So thank you very much, Zev. You're a very big help. And funny enough, I'm doing it myself, working at Anchor Health, helping people find jobs, doing recruitment. And I really try to come with the same mentality of helping people. Like if they are not necessarily a good fit for this company, set them up for success. It's not just about making the sale and just about getting the placement or getting them in the job. It's about finding their strengths and where would they succeed. And it's something I took away from sitting down with Zev and Rabbi Werdy's amazing program. And it's just an incredible thing. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mendy. There's one other program I want to highlight. I don't have a person coming for a testimonial, but this is a brand new program we just started a couple of months ago. I'm very proud of it. The results aren't in yet. I hope when we're done with it, there'll be incredible results, but we started the CHYE Accelerator Program. This is a specific program focused on early stage growth businesses. So people that have started their business already and Baruch Hashem, they're in it for 3-4 years and they're seeing success. But then there's a whole new set of challenges that come along the way, and you need guidance. And so we're running the Accelerator Program. Baruch Hashem, we have 10 companies that are part of it. We're 3 months in, and I told them by the end of the program, I hope to see their business 10x. We'll see, we'll see if we pull that off in Retz Hashem. But that's the newest program from CHYE. Okay, I want to just acknowledge Yehuda Berg. Are you in the room, Yehuda? One of our programs, again, all of our one-on-one programs are free services. We have Yehuda Berg working for us for 10 years now. He's there in the back. He's our in-house business counselor. He helps people write business plans. He helps people apply for interest-free loans from 2 great Jewish organizations that will lend up to $50,000 interest-free to people starting businesses. And tremendous resource, and thank you very much, Yehuda. I also would like to give a thanks. We have a wonderful board at CHYE, very dedicated board members who give of their time and of their knowledge and of their funding to help CHYE grow. And I just would like to mention them by name. Yankee Markowitz, who left already, had a simcha to attend. Aaron Pinson, Ezzy Shafran, Menachem Light, Mayor Eichler, Nussi Sternberg, and Sroli Richler. Thank you guys very much for all the time and effort and energy you invest in CHYE. Okay. One more introduction, and then we'll start the show. This year, Baruch Hashem, I was honored that there was, we have sponsors for tonight's event, but 2 of the sponsors actually weren't just the sponsors for tonight's event. They decided to be sponsors for our whole year's programming. I guess you could call them corporate sponsors of CHYE, but I was really honored this year to have Ainsworth Gorkin law firm, who saw what CHYE does for the community, and they agreed to be sponsors of our programs for the whole year. I actually would like to call up Shia Gorkin, if he could just come up for a moment.
Wow. Thank you, Rabbi Wordy. Rabbi Wordy is always busy thanking all of his sponsors. And to be honest, I think all of us sponsors should be thanking Rabbi Wordy, because he gives us the opportunity to be part of such an amazing organization that he dedicates his entire life to for the past 13 years. So thank you very much, Rabbi Wordy, for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this organization in a small way. Who am I? I'm an attorney, but I'm one of the good guys. How the joke goes, 99% of the attorneys give the rest a bad name. I am a litigator. I represent businesses in all aspects of commercial business litigation. And my partner, Levi Ainsworth, who couldn't make it here today, is a contracts attorney. He drafts all types of contracts, from startups to mergers and acquisitions. And I'll be sitting here in the corner. I was relegated to a corner here to do some speed consultations after the main event. So if anyone wants to come over and say hi, ask me any question you'd like, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. And again, thank you, Rabbi Wordy.
Okay, we're ready to get started with the next part of the event. I just want to set the stage. This event, this year, it's a long event, okay? It's not a short event. We're calling it Men's Business Night Out. I hope you guys are here for a few hours. I'm saying that in a serious way. This event, there's 2 parts to this event. We're going to do the keynote now, okay? And I'll talk about the keynote in a second. We're going to take a break. We're going to have buffet. After the buffet, we're going to start the roundtables. We have tremendous people that are going to be here tonight to answer your questions about this. So I'm hoping you guys will be here till 11 o'clock just to set the stage. With that being said, I'd like to call up our second corporate sponsor, if you want to call it that. But Barry Volasov from Be Hired, who's actually, as Ashkacha Pratis would have it, we know each other for about 15 years. He ran a program for me in Oli Torah called Chavrusa Sushi. And then About 5 years ago, we were running a jobs program out of CHYE, and Barry came along and he said, I know how to do this, and he made his first match on the first week on the job, and he's never stopped. He's a tremendous recruiter. He has helped hundreds and hundreds of people to get jobs, and he has a tremendous business now called Be Hired, and we're honored that he's giving back to CHYE by being a sponsor of our programs throughout the year, and he's actually going to lead the interview tonight with Tuvia. And I want to just say one more thing, and then I'm going to pass the mic on to Barry. I've been trying to get Tuvia to speak for 10 years now. I've asked him off and on, and he's always blown me off. And this year I asked him, and he said yes, and he said that while he's talking tonight, he's going to reveal why he chose to say yes. So I'm waiting to hear this. Make sure you ask him that question. Okay, but without further ado, I pass the floor on to Barry, and you'll call up Tuvia.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. It's always super exciting, and I feel honored, humbled to be a part of all of Rabbi Werdy's amazing work. I think I'd enjoy more talking about CHYE. Don't forget to look on your table, scan the barcode, be able to participate in the amazing work Rabbi Werdy does here. I guess a little bit about Be Hired. Some of you may know us. I think the concept is very simple. If you want to have a great company, you need great people. And that's what we're here to do. And I guess what we do special for the candidates is that we're not just, paper pushers, or someone asked me here tonight, like we don't just match up, it says accountant on their resume, and then we shove them to a company. We really keep the mission that we started at CHYE of helping people find a career path that aligns with their, I could say this to this room, tchunas hanefesh, where they'll blossom and where they'll succeed. And super excited to have a conversation with Tuvia tonight. So without further ado, Tuvia. Okay, let's get started. He told me, we shouldn't worry too much about moving the chairs because we're both 4'11". We really need a stool. Just kidding. Okay, so let's get started. I walked around the room. I think it's just would be nice to hear just a little bit about what Modway is, where you guys are at today. I guess why they asked you to speak.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Is my mic working? So yeah, it's really nice to be here, and I'm honored to be able to speak in front of everyone. And thank you, Rabbi Werdy, for giving me the honor to speak. I'd like to thank my father and my brothers that are here. Feel honored. So, I'm really, in general, I was always a very quiet guy. Never raised my hand in class, just like to be low-key, keep to myself. And maybe I was very shy, but when people saw the flyer going around and saw that I'm going to speak, I started getting messages. What's wrong with you? What happened? This is a midlife crisis. What's going on? This is out of character. Another message. It's ayin hara to be in front of everybody like that. And one of the first lessons I got when I was starting the business. This is back in around 2004. There's a man named Mendel Sirota. So he helped us find our first warehouse. He gave me advice. And he said, it says in the Gemara in Bava Metzia, Ein habracha metzuya ala mashe suma min ha'ayin. And because, he saw that whenever I made a deal, I would brag about it and things like that. He said, just keep it quiet, and then you'll be successful. And I always took that to heart, there's no point in talking in front of people, just stay quiet. But on the other hand, there's a concept, the Chassam Sofer didn't publish any of his writings in his lifetime because of his humility. However, we're supposed to print and learn and learn from Svarim and all that. It's a mitzvah because it's Eis L'Hashem. This is a special time, and if you could have an impact to help other people, it's worth it. Even go out of character, do what you need to do, because there's nothing greater for someone to have a business. it's great for them. It's great for their family. It helps the community. So it's very important for people to get ideas, learn from others how to start a business. So getting back to how I started Modway and how it all happened. So I didn't have any resources. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any knowledge. But I had a drive, and I wanted to earn a living. I didn't know what's going to happen. So I worked very hard. I used to, this was in around 2004. Amazon wasn't really a thing. It was mostly eBay. And I got my hands on some closeouts. I was also teaching second grade English without any secular education, straight out of Altera. And I was also a rabbi on the weekend in an assisted living center in Freehold, which happens to be near my office today in New Jersey. So I'm doing all these little hustles, and then a friend of mine, Shneur Herschel, my partner, he passed away a few years ago, he reaches out to me and says, let's go out for pizza, I have an idea. So I'm like, okay, let's go. So we go to Dagan Pizza in Canarsie, and he says, listen, I know about this deal to buy 100 office chairs, high-end office chairs called Aeron chairs, if anybody's familiar with it. It sells for about, I think I looked online now, I haven't looked in a long time, it sells about $1,800 office chair. And so there's this deal coming out of Bloomberg, they're liquidating their chairs. We need $35,000, which we didn't have, but let's do it, we'll make a partnership. I'm like, okay, let's go. So we have to figure out how we're coming up with the money. I was able to put together maybe $10,000 then or something like that. So we had this idea. We'll start listing them on eBay, start selling them, and then you have a lead time to ship it. I think in those days, the metrics worked a little different, where you're able to get away with a lot more things. And this way, we'll have enough money to buy the deal. So sure enough, that's what we did. And comes the day that we wire over the money, and we go to, I have to rent a truck. Never drove a truck before, because I'm doing this all alone, basically. The only experience is maybe driving a mitzvah tank, which I don't know how well that ended when we were buffer then. But I'm still single, obviously, when all this is happening, so we're able to do a lot more things. So I drive to Manhattan. We go late at night to loading dock in a Bloomberg building. We load up 100 office chairs in a truck. And then I drive it, bring it home to my parents' home. I load it into the garage and into the basement. And then we realize we have a little problem because we sold all the chairs as black, however, it was blue. So we have to think of a solution. So we found a guy that could dye it. So we said, okay, no problem. So we took all the chairs apart, and we sent it to this, I think it was a Haitian guy, if I remember correctly. I don't know how we found him. And he said, no problem, he'll charge us, I forget what it was, maybe $10 a unit. And he dyed everything. It comes back a few days later, and we realized it wasn't really dry. The paint wasn't drying, so we're like, that's a problem. So we get blow dryers, and we tried to figure out what we could do. And we had to fill orders, we were under pressure. So we put everything back together, and we started shipping out orders. At the same time, we also started our first website just to sell these office chairs. It was called trendychair.com. And Google was pretty cheap then. It was very easy. You put up a site, in no time you're selling. So we're fulfilling orders, and then slowly we're starting to get calls. My suit's ruined. Oh, my shirt, people's shirts are turning black and so forth. And so we knew we have some problems. So we said, no problem. We reached out to each customer, and we figured out, we bought replacement parts. And we ended up feeling like we satisfied everybody. However, I don't know if we made any money on that particular deal. We probably lost some. But this is how we started, and over time, we figured out how to source some more product. We started calling office liquidators all over the country until we finally found some sources. And slowly we were growing, and at some point. Got to get out of the basement. So
Did you specifically want to be in the office space, in the furniture space, or this just happened to be?
yeah, it just was it seemed very lucrative at the time, and we still had a lot of scale ahead of us.
Did you do like market research to like figure it out, or was just whatever goods you got your hands on that was?
Yeah, we weren't that smart then, you know. So yeah, it just this was opportunity came to us, and we just jumped on it. So yeah. So I guess the question is, what everybody wants to know, like we did office chairs. Now we don't do this kind of business. And how do you get to the next step? So at some point, you know, it was very difficult to source this product, even though we did see growth. We figured we got to get into some other things. So Schneier Al-Shalom, he was a good researcher, and he found some furniture products that we could sell, that we could import from China. But we never bought anything from China. It sounded a little crazy. But I think it was through Alibaba, possibly. We got a few samples of different product, and we sent on a mixed container. And I remember going down to the port with the truck, loading up a few pallets, loading it off in the warehouse, and then just forgetting about it. And then at some point, trying to clean up, and I'm like, you know, we got to get rid of this junk. So I'm like, you know, why don't we just try to sell it like the original plan? So we listed it on eBay, and it sold so fast that we realized, ooh, we're onto something. And then we started ordering, you know, a container of it, and so forth.
Was this all like a hobby the whole time, or did you consider this a real business? You came 9 to 5, you were focused, or this was just playing around?
This was definitely a full business. We were very busy. You know, I was doing a bit of everything at that point, doing deliveries, taking phone calls, you know, fixing product, like, you know, whatever it takes.
It was just you two at that point, just you and
So
Schneier?
no, so it was. We realized at some point we have to hire people, so we were ready in Brownsville, and we didn't know how to hire anybody. We didn't know about Be Hired.
Thanks for the plug.
So I drove around Brownsville, and I just noticed some guy hanging out, and I said, hey, you want a job? He said, okay, sure. And I think it was about $6 an hour then, or $7 an hour.
His background check came back fine?
We didn't really think that much. So yeah, but you know, that was our first employee. And then I had a friend of mine in Kyle at the time, and he said he's looking for a job, and I'm like, you know, I don't really have you know, enough work, but you know, I can't really pay you that much. But if you want to come, you could join the team. And I think we paid him like $300 a week or something like that. And I think from day one, he was so overwhelmed with work, he didn't know what hit him. So, and then we realized we have to start hiring people and delegating.
Okay, so how did you take it to the next step from you have all this basic product and you know, what's the next step? Did you find a specific thing that started selling? You said you had a thing on eBay. You realized you're onto something. How did you move from there to sourcing more product, selling more product, building out this team?
Right, so there's a number of steps that really helped us scale different things. That you know, at some point we thought, you know, we were only doing retail, and we thought, you know, maybe there's a business in wholesale selling to stores and other places, but we didn't really think about it that much. I said, so we didn't have anything set up for wholesale at all. But I said, no, let me give it a shot. I went on the train, and I went into the city, and I found the furniture store, and I walked in, and I said, hey, would you like to buy any of our product? You know, and he said, sure. And before you know it, we showed him a few of the products that we imported, and we were already sending deliveries to his store the next day. And then we realized, you know, there's something to do. There is a nice business out there for wholesale, and we shouldn't just be focusing on retail.
Was there like a specific focus on like, you know, starting out, like you're looking to just sell your product, then you find a way to source it, like you're something that you need to get. So did you have a focus on like, how do we source good product or how do we sell good product and then you go find it? What was the focus?
Right, so the next real big breakthrough, I think, you know, we found some product we were doing well, we were importing, we were taking risks, importing containers of it. But I think it was in the summer around 2009, possibly. I was on vacation, just married, I had maybe 2 kids then. We were in Israel. And Schneier calls me in Israel. He's like, let's go to China. And I'm like, nah, I'm tired. I don't want to go to China. It sounds a little scary going to China. But he convinced me, and as soon as I got back from Israel, we jumped on a plane. We went to China. And we visited different factories. And I remember visiting a showroom in China, and I felt like a kid at a candy store. And I'm like, okay, I want 100 of these. Like, everything looked like great deals compared to what was selling online, because we were familiar with some products that were selling well online, and we knew this is great opportunity. And then we went to a trade show in China, and then it was like our eyes falling out of our head, realizing the opportunities out there. There wasn't a lot of competition at that point of companies in our space importing from China, and it was kind of wide open. So, we jumped right in, and I think that's one of our first breakthroughs when we found great product, able to import and sell it.
So you realized that once you could source product, you'd find people to be able to buy it. It was just about finding the right product at the right price.
Yeah, everything that starts from sourcing, like, that's the key. I always tell anybody that asks for advice, I'm like, make sure you're sourcing well. That's number one. Once you're sourcing well and you have a great product, great value, it will sell itself. So you don't have to worry as much on marketing it, how you're going to sell it. The product sells itself. So.
At one point, did this business turn from like a little hustle, you and Schneier Hirsch, to like, wow, we really have a business going? I mean, there's a lot of people that start businesses, they have a couple clients. At what point did you realize, like, wow, we have something going here?
Yeah, I mean, it happens over years. You realize that every year was growth, more and more, and it's not something that just hits you overnight, but it's a progression. One of the things that kind of took us to the next level, another thing that I recall, how going to trade shows. Like, first we didn't go to any trade shows, and then it was a week before the Las Vegas market, one of the big furniture shows, which happened to be this week in Las Vegas. And someone says, why don't you go to the show? And we had no idea what it was about. And it was a few days before the show, and we're like, so no, we'll just do it. We quickly put together the product. We printed out some signs. We scotch taped it to the wall in the show space. And before we know it, even though our showroom looked absolutely horrible, we'd be embarrassed to look at it today. But a lot of people were interested in our product, and we saw a lot of growth there. I remember just after the trade show, I think at that time flash sale sites were very popular. If anybody remembers Guild Group and Outlook and all those, and we ran our first sale on one of these sites, and it blew our mind how much sales we did in one weekend, that we literally had to take over the whole parking lot outside of our warehouse just to pack orders. We came in on late nights and Sunday. That's one of the things that we saw growth from. Another breakthrough moment, I would say, is, originally it was me and Schneier Hirsch that started the company. At some point, Schneier reached out to a third partner, Moshe Melamed, and we weren't doing much on Amazon then. Amazon was still in the earlier stages. It was mostly books. And he made a deal with him, which I didn't even know about, like that he'll give him commission for whatever sells on Amazon, because we tried Amazon and we really didn't have much luck there. We still had a few orders. And so I think, it was a nice commission. I don't even remember what it was. And all of a sudden, Amazon was taking off, and he was selling the heck out of it. And we were cutting him big checks every week. And I was like, oh, wait a second. This guy's making way more money than we are. We got to stop this. I'm like, we got to get rid of him, or renegotiate the commission. And then I thought, what? Maybe we should just make him partner, because he seemed to be a very intelligent person, and we needed a lot of help with other areas, like technology. We were running on a Google Sheet, and we really needed help just making things work, and automation, whatever they had back then. But we needed an ERP system, inventory management. And once we started bringing those things in, that's when we saw real growth, once we implemented technology. That's because there's only so much a human could do. So technology is key for growth.
So I know this is a little bit of a break in the story, but what's your take on partners? And does everyone have their own specific job within the company? Does one focus on finance, marketing? Do you think partners are a good idea? Should you avoid getting into partnerships? Is there an element of like resentment? Who works harder? Who works less?
Right.
What's your take on that?
Right. So if you don't like sharing, then you shouldn't get a partner. but the way I looked at it then, it was a very hard decision to bring in partners, because it's like, you know, you work really hard and then you're giving up a lot. But then I thought to myself, it's like, you know, you could either have a very small cake or a very big cake and just and cut it up. But if you bring in the partners, you could do a lot more and have maybe a smaller piece, but of a much bigger pie.
So it takes humility to share. Did you guys have specific roles or?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm the CEO of the company, and I kind of, you know, run all different things. But I'm involved a lot with, let's say, legal matters or you know, the sales channels and things like that. Moshe Malamed, he's the operations, so he runs all the technology and, you know, running the warehouse and running the operations in the office as well. Schneier Al-Shalmi was sourcing, and I was also very involved in sourcing then with him. So I used to travel with Schneier to, you know, overseas. We would travel to, you know, China, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and.
So you have this nice little business in Brownsville. You guys are growing. Take us to the next step. You know, you guys have some big buildings in New Jersey. I'm sure those weren't easy to get. What did it take to move there? I mean, first of all, I'm curious, what does it take to make the decision to move there? Like, where's your business at that you're willing to, you know, get the financing, make the investment? You know, bring us through like the emotional, psychological side, and then how did you actually do it?
Right, yeah, so, yeah, it was hard to move out of Brooklyn. I mean, we were, you know, it was very close to home, and it was a 5-minute drive to get to work. But we realized that we couldn't get trucks to pick up our goods. And then we were paying tremendous amount of tax. And then the real estate costs kept on going up. So we started thinking about moving to New Jersey. And it was a hard decision. And we looked at many buildings in New Jersey. And then we made our first move to New Jersey. It might have been 2012, possibly. It was Hillside, New Jersey. But then after being in renting buildings for many years and having a very hard time with landlords, we realized, at least I realized, that it's important to buy our own building. And everybody was saying, no, it's a bad idea, it's going to hurt the cash flow. You know, our lender, the bank, kind of said, you know, you shouldn't do that, it's not a good idea, it's going to hurt your business. But I was dead set that we have to buy a building. You know, it actually says in the Gemara in Bava Metzia, it says that a person should split his investments between merchandise, real estate, and save some. So, and there's a reason why you need to diversify. It's good to have your business and all that, but if you could have opportunity to buy a building, you should.
When Boymel Green did the Huddle, he said, karka, 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 all three.
Right, okay. So, well, sometimes, you know, product could be more lucrative and can make quicker profit. There's always ups and downs.
So I just, if we could pull out, I know we have only a few minutes left. You know, what would you say is the, I don't want to say regret, but biggest mistake or biggest lesson looking back in your journey that you think would be important to share? What's the biggest mistake or lesson, a better way to operate?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's always things that look terrible and you know, things that might at the time seem like mistakes. And like, for example, right before COVID, which COVID was great for us, we had a problem. We bought way too much inventory, and our bank sent us a letter that we're in default because we weren't meeting our conditions. We had no money to pay any factories. And I didn't know how we're getting out of this. It was a lot of stress. And then all of a sudden, you know, COVID hits. And I just remember middle of the night, waking up and I'm like, and telling my wife, I think I can't breathe, you know, because probably had COVID then. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I have so much problems at work. I don't know, it's terrible. But am I even going to make it to the morning? Because like I feel like I can't breathe. But anyway, the next day, we look at the folder, and I'm like, something doesn't look right in the numbers. And we're looking at reports, and I'm like, the numbers look different. And I realized sales are just going through the roof. And all that inventory that we thought was a big mistake from the inventory guy for ordering so much product was the biggest blessing. So, things that a lot of times, your medicine could be your poison, or your poison could be your medicine.
Got it. Did when you started out, did you set out to have a big business? I mean, there's a lot of like young entrepreneurs in the room. Did you, it sounds like this thing, happened at each stage, but did you say, hey, one day I'm going to be CEO of Modway, or, at each stage you don't know what's going to hit you next?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no planning. It's like a Mensch tracht, Gott lacht. Like you could think and think, but things just happen. For me, it was a big wake-up call watching my partner, Elvis Shum, going through, during COVID, that he was very sick. And then, we always had a lot of faith that, and he was giving me a lot of chizuk that he's going to recover. And during COVID, we bought our building, which is a long story in itself, how we managed to buy the building. And his message was that if Hashem helped us make this transaction go through, which seemed impossible, he could make me better. And it was about a month or two after our closing, he passed away, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to wrap it here. If anybody has any more questions, last question I'll ask you is, what would be your message to a young guy in your shoes starting out? How could they get to where you're at?
Right, it's just, all you need is a drive. And if you're goal-oriented, all problems or all obstacles just kind of disappear, because, I kind of didn't have anything really going for me, but I was so driven. And I just, since I was just focused on the goal, doing what needs to get done, things that I wouldn't normally do, I just did, because that's what I wanted to accomplish. So you just go out of your comfort zone, and it's a great thing to have a business, and there's always room for growth. So you should never give up.
Thank you. Fascinating story.
Okay, we're going to get ready to transition to the next part of the event. Let me explain to you how it's going to work. We have these round tables here in this room. Each of these tables is a round table. We have with us in this room 6 distinguished business leaders that are going to answer your questions at these round tables. Okay, so came all the way from Montreal, Mayor Ganevish, who's here tonight. And he's going to discuss what does it take, how do you pitch an investor? So if you want to talk that discussion, that's going to be Mayor's table. We have with us Shmuley Goldman. Shmuley Goldman, are you here? Shmuley is a senior vice president in B&H, and he's been one of CHYE's most popular mentors, and he's going to talk about performance management. So if you're an employer and you have employees and you want to learn how to manage them, Shmuley is going to discuss performance management. We have with us one of the biggest Amazon sellers, but he doesn't want to talk about Amazon, Chaim Pekarsky, who's here tonight, and he's going to have an open Q&A on business strategy. We have with us, came all the way from Morristown, New Jersey, Lazer Herson, who is now the CEO of PCS Wireless, one of the world's largest suppliers of iPads and iPhones refurbished. And he is going to discuss navigating corporate relationships. For those of you that need to do business with corporations and make partnerships, Lazer is a master, and he's going to answer those questions. All the way from Morristown, New Jersey, and Pomona, we have 2 business partners, Schneur Landa and Zalmi Raskin, who are going to sit together. And any of you that are in business and you're partners and you want to hear how do you make a business partnership the right way, sit at their table. We have Adam Goldschmidt, who came to us. He lives in Long Island, and he's a executive business coach, and he's going to be talking about how to target your customers and differentiate yourself from your competition. Please sit at his table. We also have CHYE is going to be sitting in the corner. If you want to have a free consultation about legal matters, he'll talk to you. I would like to acknowledge, we have with us in the room the Executive Director of Crown Heights Community Council, Rabbi Eli Cohen. The Community Council has become a tremendous partner for CHYE. I would like to recognize him. We have with us, this event was sponsored by tremendous companies, and I would like to call them up to give them a chance to talk about themselves before we go to the buffet. We're going to have a buffet, and then after the buffet, the roundtables will start. Mendel Krasniansky from OS Solutions, if you could please come up for a minute to talk about your company. If everybody could just give 2 minutes of silence.
I can't see. Thank you, Rabbi Wardy, for hosting this event, and for everything you do for CHYE, for young people in Crown Heights, or they branch out a little in Florida, looking for career paths and opportunities. We've had quite a few conversations. It's my honor to be a co-sponsor of this event and to be part of the Accelerator program, part with 10 plus other businesses who are looking to gain from each other. A bit about myself: we are OS Solutions. We're an outsourcing company. We're not just a service provider. We partner with companies here to help them, reduce overhead, give, for lack of a better term, release some of your local manpower so that they could branch out and build their own businesses while you build your business and we handle all the back office. So if anyone needs, outsourced teams, accounting, bookkeeping, data entry, web development, whatever it is, call center, sales, we do it all. And yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'd like to call up Naftali Brach and his partner. I forgot your first name again. Come a second. Shmuel Zeidman would like to talk about his company, Brach Financial.
Hi, good evening. First, I would like to congratulate CHYE, working with entrepreneurs and helping them grow. We actually are more on the protection side of these entrepreneurs. We believe entrepreneurs are what I call the gift of the Rebbeinu Shalom to society. The Rebbeinu Shalom gives people the drive to want to work, and we heard from Tuvia, 24/6, and they put in everything they've got, and for that they bring product and they bring jobs to the community. And naturally, these people are very optimistic, and they see only the green line. They don't see what can happen if something happens in the side that can sometimes mess things up. They are born with these, I call them blindfolds. And that's where we come in. We help them understand that sometimes we have to diversify outside of their business by sometimes a pension plan. Also by thinking, what if something happened to me yesterday? Who's going to pay my employees? Who's going to make sure that my business stays around? Who's actually going to have my business? And when I want to retire, which of my kids are actually going to get my business, and what happens to the other children if I gave my business to one of my kids? All that is something that needs to be discussed, and if not, the default plan can sometimes happen, which is not what probably the best plan. So that's where we come in. We are planners. Then we sell product to fund agreements that are made. We sell pensions, and we sell life insurance and disability insurance and all that kind of stuff that can help protect from all these things if they chas v'shalom happen. Thank you.
Shakaya. Okay, I'd like to call up Beryl Bruchstadt from Fasten Halberstam to talk about his company.
Beryl Bruchstadt. I joined Fasten Halberstam about 7 years ago. We're an accounting firm, full-service accounting firm. When I joined, I was number 12, and fast forward 7 years, we're 75, 80 of us. So we must be doing something right. We're full service. We have audit practice, tax practice, and consulting practice. We service a wide range of industries, e-commerce, healthcare, real estate. We do audits for pension plans, something we specialize in. And I think if there's one thing that makes us stand out and attributes to our growth over these years is care. We care. We go home. You go home at night, you're an entrepreneur, you think about your business at night when you're at home. We also do. And again, thank you, Yeshua, for letting us be part of this. And anyone introduce yourself, let's make a connection. If you have any questions, the managing partner, Ephraim Fasten, is here. I'm sure he has a wealth of knowledge to share with everybody. And hatzlacha to everybody.
Okay, Achrein Chaviv. I'm going to call up Yoel Lowy. He has a very interesting business called Kavana Business Presentations. It's something that many of us really need. If you want to look professional, sometimes you need special help for your business, and Yoel will come up and talk about his business.
Thank you, Rabbi Wordy. Yankee Markets isn't here anymore, but I want to thank him for inviting me as well. So I'm Joe Aloy. I'm from Williamsburg, and I'm the founder of Kavana Business Presentations. So what our team does, we prepare business plans that business needs to go in front of banks for loans and lines of credit or investor pitch decks. And we not only sit with you and analyze and go through your business and write and design, but what differentiates us that we have financial analysts on staff that develop your financial and operational models, your Excel sheet, you know. So we do that. And I know a lot of people, they bother their accountants or their wife's friend who knows Excel, or they go to consultants or branding agencies to develop these materials. But this is not what they're looking to do. This is what we specialize in, that piece of paper that you need to take a specific next step in your business. This last weekend, Baruch Hashem, I had a walk with a friend who was in the healthcare industry, and he had an oversubscribed $6 million raise in his healthcare business with the deck that we produced for him in 3 weeks, Baruch Hashem. So if any of you are going to, so if you're going to a bank or you're going for your investors, we would love to be part of your success. I'll be here. Thank you very much.
Okay. So the way the program is going to work is we're going to take a break right now. The buffet in the bar is going to open up, and we're going to start the roundtables in 15 minutes. So go get some food, go get a l'chaim, take a drink, and in 15 minutes start making your way to the roundtable of choice.